Hey there, don't worry, my usual videos will be in German, but today I make an exception and will, for a change, have a video in English. Just for my friends back in England. I've been living there for a couple of years and left back home after a while. But I'm still quite confused, guys, what you're doing back there in England. I'm regularly following, for example, TLDR News, which is quite a good YouTube news agency, which is bringing stuff for Britain and for the US. I'll include the link in the bottom because recently they've done a lot of stuff about Brexit, and I was following the sessions in the House of Commons anyway, and I quite like their conclusions and the videos they made about Brexit, and now especially about Boris Johnson. And that's one of the topics why I'm making this video for my friends, to ask them, guys, what are you doing there? I can't really believe what I saw since I left. First of all, David Cameron promised to have a people vote about Brexit just because he wanted to win an election. And then he casted this people's vote about a Brexit, believing that they won't succeed with the Brexit vote, and then they did. So for purely political calculations, David Cameron wrecked the whole country and has driven them into Brexit. And then came Theresa May. After 2 years of negotiations with the EU, they had a deal, and she couldn't get it through Parliament. I've seen a lot of the sessions of the House of Commons during that time, and by the way, I love John Bercow, the Speaker of the House. He's the most brilliant man I've ever seen, and I like to compare him to Norbert Lammert, the former Speaker of the German Bundestag. He was quite funny as well, John Bercow can be, but he also is a very strict and intelligent guy, and it was very interesting to see how he dealt with all that happened there. But guys, to be honest, if you watch this from another country, all the time you're asking yourself, what the hell is going on? What's going on in their heads while they're arguing in the parliament, which is quite fun sometimes, but you can't believe what they're saying, because everyone on the Brexit side always says, oh, we will get another deal from the EU. I don't know how many times the EU is supposed to say we are not changing this deal. And still the Brexiteers say, oh yeah, we get another deal. No, you won't. Now, after Theresa May is gone and Boris Johnson is there, Boris Johnson is still saying he's going to get a new deal. And right when he was elected, and again right when the Queen made him Prime Minister, the EU said, you are not getting another deal, we are not reopening negotiations. And now we're facing the 31st of October, which is the current date for the Brexit, and Boris Johnson is threatening with a no deal. And there's a point where I always wonder, okay, it will harm the EU as well. It will harm Germany as an exporting nation as well. Right. But it will harm the UK much more. Not to forget all the independence talks now in Scotland, where they are going on for quite some time already, but now also in Northern Ireland and even in Wales. And Wales once voted for Brexit as a majority, and was quite a majority there. But now even there, after they know what Brexit means, they are talking about independence in the case of Brexit. From our outside view, this is quite a thing to see. Might there be no United Kingdom in the near future? And I always say we, but I mean, of course, me more than others, but I'm discussing with a lot of people about this because they have family in England still. I have friends still in England, and friends of mine even have family in Swindon, where we now learned that Nissan is going to close a factory there for cars because of Brexit. And there you see the impact it can have right next to you and to your own peers' families. But it still is unbelievable what's going on. From an outside view, we're just asking, can I have some of this stuff that Johnson takes every morning? Because there must be fun. I really can't get it how a politician, especially a prime minister, can act like this. I'm really quite lack of a word there to say nothing not suited for YouTube, but still very explaining for what I'm trying to do. No, it's not. Let's say irresponsible. How can a prime minister act that irresponsibly in his country, and for his country and for the people? The harm will hit the British people. And now, guys, you see why we're really wondering what's going on. When I was living in London for a couple of years back then, it was such a great time. It was very open-minded people. I never thought from the people, no matter where I worked, that there were people who were anti-EU. They were all glad that people from other countries were working there. They liked the experience to work with people from other countries, and more than all, they needed people from other countries, especially nurses, doctors, etc. But there was never a climate where I thought, oh, they don't want us here. And then all the Brexit stuff came. And to remember, just because one prime minister wanted to win the next election, which is now can be seen as a suicide pact, because he had to step down right afterwards. I'm really, really curious what's going to happen next. I wrote it in a BBC discussion before. We are at the point now where it's probably more dangerous for the EU if Britain stays in than when it leaves, because the country is that divided between Brexiteers and Remainers that either way there will be a lot of tension, either with the Brexit or with the second referendum, which has the conclusion of Remain. That there will be trouble for a long time. And not to forget, Boris Johnson and his Brexiteer friends always said if they stay in the EU, they're going to sabotage the EU, and that's something the EU definitely doesn't need. But what are the chances? The most probable thing now is a no-deal Brexit, because Johnson is not willing to talk to any other heads of states from the EU unless they grant him a new deal. And they already said that they won't, so there won't be even talks about anything. Not even about the political declaration, which is changeable. It's not as binding as the deal, but the political declaration belongs to this deal and includes the stuff, what will we do next after Brexit. But he doesn't even care, because he doesn't want to talk about it. Unless they take out the backstop completely, which can't be. If they take out the backstop, we will have a hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland. And the Good Friday Agreement, which finally brought peace to Ireland, especially Northern Ireland, depends on an open border between Ireland and Northern Ireland. And I'm quite concerned, after all I learned during my time in England, that there will be a very tough tension after a no-deal Brexit when a hard border is coming up. And the EU has no chance, Ireland has no chance but to protect this border. they are legally bound to do this. And so the backstop can't go. There must be found a solution later on how to keep open a border between Ireland, Northern Ireland. That would happen in the form of a trade deal between the UK and the EU. But you can't have this right at the moment of the Brexit, because you first have to get a divorce before you can start with the next marriage. And the second thing that in the parliament some people might still suggest is a people's vote, a second referendum. But the Brexiteers said, we had one, we promised to only have one, we won't have another. Although there were tons of lies during the campaign for the first referendum. Don't forget the 350 million for the NHS a week and stuff like that. And which now everybody should know that there were lies. Everybody said, no deal Brexit, doesn't matter, we can go out in WTO terms and it won't harm us. Of course it will harm them. For example, the Welsh sheep farmers, which are depending big time on exports to the EU. On their product there will be 40% tariff on WTO terms. Who the hell in Europe will buy their lambs and sheep meat still when they're 40% more expensive? Then the farming in Europe itself is cheaper. They might stock up, who knows. Yeah, but that's just one example. But I doubt that there will be a second referendum. I don't see so far that there will be a majority. And not to forget, the House of Commons will be back in session on the 3rd of September. That's not even 2 months before Brexit date. And the next thing is, which could happen, is a general election. But it will only happen if Boris Johnson wants it to happen. Because I don't think that even the Remainers in the Tory party will vote with the opposition if Boris Johnson doesn't want this. And he will only want this when the opinion polls are good at the time and he can hope for getting the votes from the Brexit party back to the Tories. And so we are still at the same chaos in this situation as we were when Theresa May was in office. The Parliament is still at a dead stop. No side has the majority for anything. And that still is the case, even after Boris Johnson lost one of his 2 votes. He had a majority in the House of Commons because the new leader of the Lib Dems won the recent by-election last week. And so there's only 1 vote more than the opposition that the Tories and the DUP have together. And I don't really see how they're gonna get a majority for anything in the House of Commons now. But perhaps some of my friends from London are watching now. Please comment or please send me a message. You got my details. What do you think is going to happen? What solution do you see that I haven't mentioned yet that could happen? Because this is pure chaos, and from my outside point of view, it's a big mess. And when the Brexit referendum was, I hoped the Remainers would win, because I wanted the UK to stay in the EU, although they always get some extra treatment, others didn't, thanks to Margaret Thatcher already. But still, Europe depends on common strength. The UK would be much better off as a member of the EU when you look at the global developments that are going on, like what Trump is doing. Just today he started a major tariff war with China, which some journalists said so he crossed over the Rubicon today. and so there will be a lot of tension, which can even get us in troubles. Japan and South Korea are starting a trade war, and things go on and on and on. And only as a European Union together we will be strong enough to deal with big forces like the US, like China, like upcoming other nations. Because one country alone, there's 60 million people in the UK, what do they want to do alone against China? So the same goes for Germany and the other members of the EU. So guys, please comment. By the way, don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Maybe from time to time I will make a video in English. By the way, greetings to all my followers from the UK and the US on Instagram. I was quite surprised to have so many. It was quite an interesting development. I hope you're not too disappointed by all the German videos which I have, but now at least you have one video, even if you're from the US and are not that interested in Brexit. But still, welcome and have a good time, and thanks for following. But even you, please subscribe. This it will help my videos to be posted more and my channel to grow. And the last thing I can say is, let's see what will happen after the 3rd of September. Maybe I will come back earlier with some English stuff if Boris Johnson brings another bomb into the game. You never know what he's going to do. So have fun, see you soon, and for today, bye bye.